what is up? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Katie, and for today's video, I'm going to be sharing my Disney 2024 bucket list. I thought this would be such a fun video to kind of share everything I would like to do Disney related in this year of 2024. I'm also going to be announcing my next trip in this video, so stay tuned for that. I'm also wearing my new necklace that my husband got me for Christmas, which is so pretty. It's this Chrysalis Walt Disney World gold necklace. So I figured what more perfect opportunity to be the first time I'm going to wear it besides on Christmas. But it is just so pretty and I'm so excited to wear it to the parks this year. So let's get into my 2024 Disney bucket list. I also put a question box on my Instagram story, so make sure you follow me over there if you're not already. And I asked all of you what was on your Disney bucket list. I haven't gone through them yet, so I'm really excited to see what is on your 2024 Disney bucket list. So let's get into it. I did make a list in my phone, so I'm just gonna kind of refer back to that. So the number one thing on the tippy top of my Disney bucket list this year is go to Nomad Lounge. This has been on my list for now, this is the third year in a row, and I have never been there, so it just hasn't worked out for me to go there on my last couple trips. So I think I'm really gonna prioritize going to Nomad Lounge this time. Next trip, I know my family will be going to Animal Kingdom, so I think this is something we could definitely make happen this year, but I definitely want to go there. I've just heard the vibes are so good, and Animal Kingdom is my favorite park, so I just feel like, how have I not gone to Nomad Lounge yet? That is on the tippy top of my bucket list for this year. I guess this is a good time to reveal our next trip. So me, my mom, and sister have booked a trip to Disney. We were originally planning on going this year in December again, which I think we are still gonna do. Also, we wanted to go to Flower and Garden Festival, so we booked a trip for April of this year for 4 nights, 5 days. So we are going a little bit longer than our last trip, which I think will be really good, but it's gonna be so much fun and I'm so excited. So moving on to my next thing is Flower and Garden Festival. Yes, it's on my bucket list, but now as of last week, I know that I'll be able to check this one off, which is so exciting. I have actually not been to Flower and Garden Festival. Well, I shouldn't say that. I have been to Flower and Garden Festival when I was a lot younger, like I was a kid, and I don't even remember it. Maybe if I really search my brain, I can kind of picture like Epcot with all the flowers, but other than that, I really don't remember going to Flower and Garden Festival. So this will be the first time I've gone as an adult, and I'm so excited because it's kind of like the last festival that I feel like I need to do. I've done all the other ones now. I've done Food and Wine, Festival of the Holidays, Festival of the Arts, and I just feel like I need to go to Flower and Garden, and I'm so excited for this trip because it's gonna be a lot of fun. None of us have been to Flower and Garden for many, many years. I'm sure my mom remembers more so from the previous trips, but me and my sister hardly remember anything. She might remember a little bit more because she's a little bit older than me, but I hardly remember anything, so it's gonna be all brand new to me, so I'm so excited for that. Piggybacking off of that, I cannot wait to try a violet lemonade. This has been on my bucket list for years and years, and I'm so excited. I'm gonna finally get to do it. Hopefully I'll be able to get more than one if it's good, which I'm sure that it is, but it's just so pretty. If you're not familiar, violet lemonade is something that they only sell at the Flower and Garden Festival, so you can't get it any other time of year, which is why I've never had it before. So I'm so excited to try it. I think I'm definitely gonna base something, whether it's like my nails or something, off of the violet lemonade because it's just so pretty. Like the color is just unmatched, gorgeous. So I cannot wait to try it. That is definitely one of the things I'm most excited for Flower and Garden, other than like the topiaries and the flowers, but the violet lemonade is also at the top of my list. Kind of related to our upcoming trip, another thing I had on my bucket list for 2024 was to do park hopper. My family has basically never done park hopper. I guess I technically did park hopper when I went to Disneyland in California, and I also did it when I went to Disneyland Paris. It's a little bit different than Disney World. First of all, the parks in both of those places are like right next to each other, like you just walk across the way and you're there. So it's definitely a little bit different than park hopping in Disney World, so I'm really excited to experience that. We did decide to do park hopper for our upcoming April trip because we're only gonna do 3 full park days, and I said I really wanted to go to Animal Kingdom, and I'm tired of Animal Kingdom getting cut from the trip, so we decided that it would be fun to do park hopper, and we are staying at a Skyliner resort, so that'll be really fun to park hop using the Skyliner, the monorail. So excited for that, and honestly I think it's just gonna be so much fun, especially because we've been there now a couple times within the last few years, and we're planning on going again in December. I feel like park hopper is good for those people who go all the time because first of all, you know where where to go and what to do and how to get there. I feel like park hopping can be really complicated if you're not familiar with Disney World. So for example, we're not getting a full day in each park, right? We're only doing 3 park hopper days and we're going to all 4 parks. It's kind of good to kind of be familiar with the parks and know which parks you can make like into just a morning, which parks you can make into a full day. So I'm really excited for that. That'll be a new experience for us, but I can't wait to cross that off my bucket list, and we're definitely gonna do that this year. So I'm so excited for that. Another thing that is really close to the top of my list is Tiana's Adventure, because it needed a retheme so badly, and I could not think of anything that gets me more excited as a retheme than Princess and the Frog, because I love that movie and I love that ride, and I think it's just honestly a genius retheme. I think it's so smart, and I think it's gonna be so magical and so fun, and it's set to open in late 2024. There's no specific release date as of right now, but since we are planning on going in December, I'm assuming since that is the last month of the year that it'll be open by then. I really hope that I can ride Tiana's Adventure this year, because I just love Princess and the Frog. The music is fantastic. They have kind of started releasing more details about the ride. They are saying it's going to be a new storyline but include a lot of the original songs, which I'm really excited about because I just love the music in that movie. It's so good. So I'm really excited for that. Another thing I've been wanting to try for years is Enchanted Rose. Enchanted Rose is a lounge located inside the Grand Floridian. It is Beauty and the Beast themed. However, it's not heavy on the theming. It's very subtle and very pretty. Belle is my sister's favorite princess. We have been wanting to go to Enchanted Rose for the last couple trips, but just haven't been able to make it work. But because we extended our trip a little bit longer than our last one, I think we'll have time to go at some point, especially because we're gonna be park hopping and going from Magic Kingdom. We can take the monorail over to the Grand Floridian. So I think we can make it work on one of our trips this year, but I'm really excited to try it. I've heard the drinks are really good. I don't think they serve like real food. I think it's just kind of like appetizers. Would love to go try some of the drinks. They do also have really good looking non-alcoholic drinks, which I would be interested in. I'm really hoping we can try that this year. It just makes sense for the 3 of us. Like with Aaron, he wouldn't want to go there. So I think with a trip with my mom, my sister, I think it'll be perfect for trying to get to Enchanted Rose. Another thing I have on my bucket list is the Ohana Noodles. I have heard that these noodles are just so good. People rave about them, and technically I think they're only on the menu at Ohana. While I don't think we're planning on eating there, I have heard that you can get them at Tambu Lounge. If Ohana is open, you can ask for the Ohana Noodles, but I would love to try the Ohana Noodles because I've just heard amazing things about them and they look really good. Honestly, there's quite a few food items at the Polynesian that I would like to put on my bucket list. The Ohana Noodles is one of them, but also Tonga Toast looks so delicious, and I thought you could only get it at Kona Cafe, like if you sat down, but Kona Cafe also does like a to-go order, so you can order your food to go and they put it in like a little box for you. Or I looked on the website today and I realized you can also get it from their quick service location in the Polynesian, which is called Captain Cook's. You can also get Tonga Toast there. It's this really fancy French toast that has like bananas stuffed into it, and then it comes with like a strawberry sauce on top, which looks so good. And that is definitely not dairy free. I am dairy free, but I can make exceptions every once in a while if I take like special enzymes and things, but I'm willing to risk it for Tonga Toast because it looks absolutely fantastic. Another thing that looks really good at the Polynesian is these Thai coconut meatballs. So they are also from Captain Cook's, which is that quick service that I mentioned, but the description says house-made all beef chili garlic meatballs cooked in a coconut cream served over white rice, and they look so good. So that is definitely something I want to try too, but I don't know if I'll be able to make all of these things happen at the Polynesian, so maybe we'll just kind of go for one this year and see if we can try the rest on a different trip. Yeah, the Polynesian has really good food options, which is no surprise to anybody. It's one of the best Disney resorts. But yeah, there's a lot of things there that I would like to try. Another thing on my list is another food at another Disney resort, but it's not something that's new to me. It is the beignets from Port Orleans French Quarter, and if you haven't seen what they look like, I'll show you a picture here, but they are so cute, so stinking cute, and the vibes at this resort, it is probably my favorite resort. So we're not staying there on our April trip. I'm not sure where we're gonna be staying for our December trip, but it is like our favorite resort. It is our home resort. We grew up going there and we love it so much. The vibes are so good, but we didn't have a chance to get them on our last trip. We ran out of time on our travel home day, but because we have that extra day, I think we'll be able to make it work this time. So getting beignets is definitely on my bucket list for this year, even though I've already had them before. So another thing on my bucket list for this year is to complete my song list on Guardians. So I have gotten all songs except for Everybody Wants to Rule the World. So I'm really hoping that at some point this year I can get that song so I can say that I got every song on Guardians. I really feel like every song of the 6 songs gives you such a different experience on the ride, which is really fun. My favorite so far is September, but I would really love to just be able to say that I experienced all 6 songs. So I'm really hoping I can do that this year. But again, that's something that I can't really control. I'll just ride Guardians as many times as I possibly can and hope for the best. Another thing on my bucket list is not Disney parks related, I guess, but it is Disney related. So I would like to, in 2024, expand my vintage Disney collection. So I've been eyeing a couple of things on Poshmark and eBay that I would like to get for my upcoming trips. I have definitely been getting into the vintage Disney clothing and jewelry and things like that because I just feel like the quality is just different than it is now. Like everything you buy now is so cheaply made. It falls apart. If you dry it, it shrinks. I just feel like vintage clothing has that charm that clothing nowadays doesn't have. Everything is just like made so cheaply. So I definitely want to expand my Disney vintage collection in 2024. And the very last thing on my 2024 Disney bucket list is to watch as many sunsets as possible from Disney resorts, Main Street, the Epcot Ball, and yes, I call it the Epcot Ball, don't come after me, and Sunset Boulevard, just because I feel like sunsets at Disney are so magical, and it does take a little bit of planning to try to catch the sunset, because if you time it wrong, you could be in a dark ride or eating a meal and you could come out and it's dark out and you miss the entire sunset. So it does require a little bit of planning, but I just feel like it's so magical to experience a sunset at a Disney resort or a Disney park. So I want to experience as many of those as possible. So that is my 2024 Disney bucket list. It is not comprehensive of every single thing that is on my bucket list, like in general for like my life. These are just things I'm hoping to do in 2024 and things that I think are reasonable based off of the amount of trips that I have planned and kind of what our current plans are. Honestly, writing down all of these items on this bucket list and thinking that I could potentially do all of these this year is so exciting for me. But I'm also really looking forward to getting into your Disney bucket list submissions. So let's get into what is on your 2024 Disney bucket list. So again, I did put a box on my Instagram story and you guys really delivered with these bucket list items, and honestly, I want to add some of these to my bucket list because you guys actually put the most fantastic responses. So thank you if you submitted something for your bucket list for this year. I can't wait to go through them, so let's get into it. So I'm just gonna go from the first submission to the most recent submission. So someone said, go to Topolinos Terrace, either breakfast or dinner, since I've never been. I think that is a great thing to have on your bucket list. It is such a nice meal. I've not been there for breakfast, but I have been there for dinner and it's so fantastic. So I think that's a great thing to have on your bucket list because it is definitely a special meal. It's expensive, but I would say it's definitely worth the price. It is extremely hard to get a reservation as well, but I would recommend signing up for alerts from Mouse Dining if you're not able to get a reservation right away, because I almost always get what I want if I sign up for alerts from Mouse Dining. Basically, they alert you when there's an available reservation. So if you're not able to get the reservation right away, don't stress. I really have gotten every reservation I ever wanted with Mouse Dining, so highly recommend. Become more comfortable with face character interactions. Girl, I feel you on this. I do not do well meeting characters. I'm so awkward. I feel so awkward. I prefer to do like a character meal because they just come to your table for a second, you take a picture, you say hi, and then they leave. I feel you on that one, but I have no tips for you. I'm so sorry. Someone said Ohana reservation. I recently went for breakfast, but haven't been there for dinner in a really long time. So I've heard mixed reviews of what people feel like the dinner is, but if you go there, you'll have to let me know how it is. So my sister and my mom submitted a couple things, which I thought was actually genius because it's not only adding so that I can share them in this video, but it's also serving for planning for our upcoming trips because we are going in April and December together. My sister said, I cannot wait to have my next Grand Marnier slush in France. And if you're not familiar, regardless of if there's a festival or not, they always have this orange slush and it's so good. And my sister absolutely loves it and she does not go to Epcot without getting an orange slush. So I know she's excited for that. And my sister said, missed beignets on the last trip, so I've been craving them ever since. And yes, we are absolutely getting beignets. Someone said, I'm taking my very first ever solo trip to Disney in 2024. That is so exciting. I'm so excited for you because I really cherished my solo trip. I really loved my solo trip. It was so much fun to get to just do purely exactly what you want at Disney World, and does not happen very often. So I hope you have the best time, have so much fun, and really soak it in and enjoy it. It is truly underrated to travel alone, so I hope you have the best trip ever. My sister also said Frushi at Flower and garden, and I cannot believe that I did not put this on my bucket list because this is another thing I'm so excited to try. I'm now adding this to my bucket list as well. My sister also said getting September on Cosmic Rewind, and I know that that is on my mom's bucket list too. Unfortunately, I got September, but I was not with them, so I definitely also would love to get September with them. I think it'd be so much fun. And with doing the park hopper, I think we'll have a lot of opportunities to ride Guardians, so I'm hoping we can ride it quite a few times while we're there. So we'll see, but I'm definitely crossing my fingers for September for my mom, my sister, and myself. September is the freaking best on Guardians. You cannot prove me wrong. Someone said Trader Sam's cheeseburger spring rolls, stay at the Polynesian, and electric water pageant. Those are some really good ones that I really would not have thought of. I have never tried the cheeseburger spring rolls purely because I can't eat them, but I've heard amazing things about them. They sound so good. And if you stay at the Polynesian, I'm gonna be so jealous of you because that is definitely on my like Disney life bucket list, but it's not something that's gonna happen in 2024. If you stay at the Polynesian, I will be so jealous of you and I want to hear all about it. Someone, oh my gosh, this one is so sweet. Taking my daughter for her first birthday in September and I want her to meet Mickey. I'm so happy for you that you get to bring your daughter for her first birthday, and I hope you make the most magical memories, take all of the pictures and just soak it in because that is so special. And then someone said trying Mickey beignets. Y'all know how I feel about Mickey beignets. They're the best. They're so good. They're so delicious and they're shaped like Mickey Mouse, so you can't really go wrong. I guess this is now a PSA. If you have not tried Mickey beignets, you need to try Mickey beignets because they are so good and the vibes at French Quarter are unmatched. They're the best. You need to try them. My mom says to try a new Turo. She says this because they have not yet released like any menus or specialty food items for springtime yet, like the Flower and Garden Festival. So my mom is like the Disney churro queen. On our first trip back together as adults a couple of years ago, she was like, I'm not gonna waste my money or waste room, basically room in my stomach, on a churro at Disney. There's way better things to eat. And then like literally the first day she was getting a churro at Magic Kingdom. And ever since then, she has definitely embraced it. She's now the churro queen, and I know she's definitely gonna try any new churro that they have. Someone said on their bucket list was checking out La Casa Del Tequila at Epcot, queso and margaritas. I actually don't know where this is located, and while I cannot eat queso, I do love margaritas, so this is something I should definitely look into. I think it might be a tequila bar. I could be wrong. I think it might be a tequila bar in the Mexico Pavilion at Epcot, but honestly, that sounds fantastic. Someone said a Dole Whip with rum at Animal Kingdom. I also really want to try this because I love the classic pineapple Dole Whip. It is dairy free for any of my fellow dairy free peeps out there. So this is definitely something I want to try too. So we'll have to get those when we're there. And Animal Kingdom, because finally Animal Kingdom is not getting the boot on our next trip. So I definitely want to try that too. That sounds absolutely fantastic. Someone said do a VIP tour with my family. I would be extremely jealous if you did a VIP tour. So if you're not familiar with the VIP tour, it's like crazy expensive. I don't even remember how much it costs. Basically, you get that VIP tour guide, those people in the plaid vests who take you around the park and you skip all the lines. You go in the exit of all the lines and you don't wait in line at all, which is really, really cool and probably a once in a lifetime opportunity. So if you do a VIP tour, I'm gonna be super jealous. Someone said try Takuma Te at the Japan Pavilion. Seems like a very high-end delicious restaurant. I have actually not heard a lot about this restaurant, so I'm guessing it's probably one of those restaurants that's really underrated because there's so many restaurants at Disney that get like all this hype, but there's a lot of other really good restaurants. I love Japanese food, so this definitely should be on my bucket list too for some time in my life. Probably not gonna happen this year, but that sounds extremely good. And then someone said get Dole Whips at Swirls on the Water. I also have never been to Swirls on the Water, so that is definitely something I should try. And again, I love Dole Whip. They also do like different Dole Whip flights, which is really fun and cool. So they'll give you like 3 different Dole Whips to try, and unfortunately a lot of the Dole Whips I can't have because they have dairy in them, but that is definitely something that you should check out if you like Dole Whips, and that is always just like such a fun experience. Someone said horseback riding at Fort Wilderness, and I feel like this is one of those things that a lot of people don't know exists at Disney, but Fort Wilderness has like a stable, a really pretty cool stable, and they do horseback rides, which is really fun. So definitely if that's something that you're interested in, you should put it on your bucket list because it sounds really, really cool. Someone said Cinderellas Royal royal table breakfast. I've never been. We actually ate at Cinderella's royal table a couple of years ago, and I think people really don't appreciate it as much as they should. People think, oh, you're just paying for the characters. Our food was fantastic. We loved our food there. It was delicious. They had the most delicious dairy-free dessert, which was this coffee like pot de creme. It was probably one of my favorite dairy-free desserts I've had at a Disney restaurant. It was so good, and I think really people say that the food's not that good, but we loved our food there. The salads were good, our entrees were good, the dessert was good, the drinks were good. I think you should absolutely have that on your bucket list because it's such a fun experience. First of all, just to say that you dined in the castle, but I also think that people really hate on the food, and I actually thought that our meal there was really good. So hopefully your meal is good too, but honestly, the experience itself is really, really magical. So I really hope you get to do that this year. Someone said, riding all the rides I haven't yet, especially in Hollywood Studios. I totally feel you on that. It is so hard to ride every single ride because every trip is different, and it is impossible to do everything on a single Disney trip. So I really hope you get to ride all the rides that you want to on your next trip because every trip is different and there's so many different things that you can do. But if that's something that you want to prioritize, I really hope you get to do it, and highly recommend doing Genie Plus so you can ride as many rides as possible. If I could go back in time and ride honestly any of my favorite rides for the first time, I would, because it is really a magical experience to ride something for the first time. So I hope you have the best time riding all those rides. So that is it for all of your submissions on the things that are on your Disney bucket list. I feel like this just emphasizes how each Disney trip can be so different, and there's so many different things that you can do, and it makes it so much fun because every trip is going to be different and you're going to remember different things from each trip. So even though, you know, me and my family have been there like 10 plus times, or people, you know, people go way more often than that, there's probably people who've been there 100 times. There's still new things to try, there's still new things to experience. Every Disney trip can offer something different and can be special in a different way for you, no matter how many times you go. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. This is honestly a video idea that came to me like 2 days ago, and I decided today I was gonna film it, and I just thought it was so fun. I was thinking about my 2024 goals, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna make like a bucket list. Now that I have a trip booked and I know exactly what we're doing, I feel like I can kind of decide what could potentially be on my bucket list, knowing that we're gonna be going twice. So I thought it would just be so fun to share that, and I really enjoyed reading your Disney bucket list submissions because you guys thought of some really good stuff that I had not thought of that honestly I want to go add to my list now. So thank you for that. Thank you for helping me plan my next Disney trip, but thank you so much if you submitted something. I really appreciate it, and I hope that you guys all get to do everything that was on your bucket list because you deserve it, and I hope you have the most magical Disney year. If you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. It really helps me out, and I will see you in the next video.